name is Bree, and I'm with Happy Flow Yoga, and we are going to do a beginner yoga flow today. So some beginner classes, some gentle classes that you're going to see. You're going to see them where you might not leave the floor, you might move really, really slow, but my beginner class is a little bit different because my whole entire focus with beginner is to get you out of my beginner class and get you into a vinyasa class. So you come to my beginner class because you want to learn, because you want to learn about your body, because you want to learn about the yoga, because you want to apply the things you learn and then move on, right? So I love you to pieces, but I want you to leave my class is my whole thought process. So if you need a break, if you need to sit down, I just don't want you to be hard on yourself. If you take this yoga class, you're like, beginner yoga, and then you're like, what is happening? It is designed for you to take it over and over and over and over again. My beginner class doesn't necessarily change. Little things here and there change, but the whole premise of it is so that you keep doing it and you keep learning, and then eventually you're like, okay, I got it. I can move on. I can move on to the next thing. So let's go ahead and start in a comfortable seat. Whatever a comfortable seat means to you. What we are going to be using today, we are going to be using 2 blocks. We've been trying really hard to do all of these without props. But things that you can grab other than blocks is books. We're going to use those in case we can't reach the floor in our low lunge. So that's the only time we're going to really use those today. So let's go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. Your hands can be facing down or up on your knees, and then whatever that comfortable seat means to you. So I'm sitting in kind of like an easy seat position, like a crisscross applesauce a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but I have one foot in front of the other. If this is not comfortable for you, you can sit however comfortable feels. Whatever comfortable feels to you. I know that sitting like this is not comfortable for everybody. So just find a comfortable seat. Palms can face up or down, your choice, on your knees, or your hands can rest in your lap. Close your eyes. I just want you to start to breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Finding that long spine, letting your chest open so your shoulders roll back. Breathing here. Keep taking deep breaths. Just start to clear your space, your head space, right? Anything that happened today before you turned this video on, before you rolled out your mat, none of it matters. Everything can wait. All the lists that you like to create in your head, but what about the laundry, but what about dinner, but what about this, but what about that, that can all wait. This is your time for yourself. This is what you're doing for you, to fill your own cup so that you can fill everybody else's cup. You have to have a full or a nearly full cup in order to help anybody. From here, go ahead and let your chin come into your chest. Stay sitting tall and keep those shoulders rolled back. Like I said, the chin is coming into the chest. You're stretching the back side of your neck here. When you're ready, let's take some half circles. Right ear comes to right shoulder, and then swing back around. Left ear comes to left shoulder, and then back all the way through. Right ear comes to right shoulder, and then again, left ear comes to left shoulder. Just moving here, breathing here, feeling your neck stretch, just talking to your body, listening to your body. Inhaling and exhaling. What is your body telling you? Oh, my neck feels a little bit weird today. Oh, my back feels really good today. Oh, that's weird what's happening in my left shoulder. My right knee kind of feels a little bit wonky today. That's the conversation that we're trying to have. If you want to take full circles, you can. Just make sure that you go both directions. Breathing here. When you're ready, go ahead and hang that head again. And then come back to a neutral. Yeah. Okay, bring your fingertips in front of you. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk your fingertips forward for a fold. Breathing. Your fingertips do not have to walk very far. Your forearms do not have to be on the floor. Your palms don't even have to be on the floor. You're just walking those fingertips forward. Breathing here. When you're ready, walk those fingertips all the way back. Your front leg, your most forward leg, whatever leg you want to, you're going to open it up out to the side. When you open it up, you're going to lead through that heel and pull towards your toes. So you're going to pull your toes into your shins. You're going to drive this thigh down. So if it's like this, that's fine. If that's as far as it goes down, that's fine. You're still driving through that thigh. So leading through the heel, driving through the thigh, pull the toes into the shins. Then, same leg, same hand. We're going to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. Whatever you reach for, thigh, knee, ankle, shin, toes. And then the chest is going to open, other hand comes up and over, reaching for those toes. Now, obviously, if you guys are seeing my body, my chest is really open right now. My shoulders away from my ears. My fingers are not going to touch my toes. They are not. I'm sorry. I want them to. But the way that I want them to, if my chest drops down so that my fingertips reach forward, that's not the stretch we're trying to get today. When I first learned this pose, I thought, oh, I just got to touch my toes with both hands. And so I was like, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at this. You want to keep your chest open no matter what. So first things first, chest open, then stretch. And then if that's too much, hand can come to the hip. Breathing here. When you're ready, come all the way back up, bend that knee, and we're gonna switch our leg crossing. Hanging out here, right? So a little bit uncomfortable when I cross my legs. Now, if you were like this, just switch. Okay, so my other foot's in front. I'm breathing here. Inhale, length. Exhale, walk those hands. You're not going to go as far as this one, and that's okay. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but we are evening out our sides. Breathing here. Breathing. Pressing your butt into the floor while pressing your hands into the floor, stretching your entire spine here. Letting your head kind of rest. And then when you're ready, walk those fingertips all the way back up. We're going to come into that other side. So that leg, straighten it out to the side. And then remember, we're leading with our heel, driving our thigh into the ground. The thigh doesn't have to touch. Your knee does not have to be straight. If your knee's like this, totally cool. You're still driving down, trying to push it down. You're not trying to hurt yourself. You're just still driving and leading. And then those toes pull into your shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. Now, I can reach for my toes. I've been doing yoga for a long time, and I've worked on my hamstring flexibility. If you reach for your ankles, your shins, your knees, or even your thighs, that's okay. When I first started doing yoga, I couldn't even reach my knees, which is absurd to me now because I've found that flexibility, but I specifically remember looking down and not being able to reach my knees. So, wherever you're at today, just breathe. Open the chest, sweep the hand up, and come over. You are exactly where you need to be today. You are taking this yoga class, wherever you're at, any way, emotionally, physically, You are exactly where you need to be in your yoga posture. Okay, let's hold it a little bit more. Oh, we're stretching the side body. Now what's gonna happen is that bent leg, it's gonna wanna come up with you as you wrap, as you come forward. So you're just gonna try to push that down. So we're pushing both thighs into the floor. Okay, release. Whew, that's a hard stretch for me. Okay, we're gonna make our way into a tabletop. Now, if you're sitting comfortable seat, you have two options. You can roll onto your knees, and if you just looked at me at the screen like, what did she just do? What your other option is you can slide those legs around and you can come up onto your knees. So we're gonna be in tabletop position. Shoulders right above wrists, knees right underneath your hips. Look in between your legs, make sure you can't see your toes. We're gonna go through some cat-cow here. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest forward, look forward. Exhale, round the back, chin comes into the chest, belly goes to the sky. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest forward, look forward. Exhale, round the back, chin comes into the chest, belly goes to the sky. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest forward, look forward. Exhale, round the back, chin comes in the chest, belly goes to the sky. Continue back and forth your own pace and your own breath. Okay, let's find our tabletop. Bring your knees wide. I like my knees about as wide as my mat. Toes touching. First thing, hips come down. They're reaching towards your heels. Then do me a favor, come onto your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen. Keeping your hips down, then reach your fingertips forward. Let your chest come down to the floor. Breathing here. Your chest might not reach the floor. Your forehead might not reach the mat. We're still gravitating closer to there. When you're ready, walk your fingertips all the way over to the left side of your mat. Hands can be on the mat or off the mat, stretching your side body. A little bit of a different stretch than we did earlier today. Keep breathing. Ooh, I am so sore in my lats. Your lat is the muscle that attaches to your armpit. And this stretch is stretching that. And my body is saying, whoa, man, that is so sore. Walk those fingertips back through center. And we're going to go over to the other side. Hands can be on the mat or off the mat. You're just stretching that side body. And here's where I want you to feel that stretch. I want you to feel that stretch all the way from the hip, up through the ribs, through the armpit, down to the outside of the arm, all the way to the pinky. So that is where I want you to feel that stretch. Breathing here. This side is exactly the same as the other side for me. I feel the exact same stretch. Intense. Okay, walk those fingertips all the way back to center. Keep your knees wide, but press yourself up into a tabletop. So slide your hands back so they're right back under your shoulders. It's about a handprint back. We're going to thread the needle. Inhale your right hand all the way to the sky. Look at those fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle. Your arm, shoulder, and ear are going to come all the way down onto the mat. You have some options. Your hand can stay exactly where it's at. Your left hand can stay exactly where it's at. Or it can walk to the front corner of the mat, straightening out. Whatever feels best for your body today. If you've got tight lats like me right now, you're gonna be enjoying this long, lengthened stretch. Breathing. This is the scientific name for the lat, is the latimus dorsi. It's a very big muscle, but it's involved. You use it a lot in your chaturanga, in your downward facing dog. You use it when you lift your arms up above your head. You use it a ton. So that's why it's really strong. Bring that left hand right back to center. Press into the mat. Use your muscles all the way up. Right hand goes back to those fingertips, back to the sky. And then drop that hand back down. Okay, when you're ready, other side. Inhale, left hand all the way up to the sky. Open up, look at the fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle. Arm, shoulder, and ear all the way onto the mat. If your body doesn't get to the floor, I've seen this a few times in class. If your body doesn't get to the floor, like your shoulder kind of is hanging out here, you can put your knees probably aren't as wide. So if you can't get your shoulder down to the floor, it's probably your knees. So try to widen your knees a little bit wider. If you still can't get to the floor, you can put a pillow under your shoulder and you can let the floor meet you. Eventually, little by little, you're going to be able to drop that shoulder onto the mat. Again, you can take that hand, you can leave it exactly where it's at, or you can walk those fingertips to the front edge of your mat. Breathing here. When you're ready, that right hand is going to come back to center. Use your muscles, press yourself all the way up. Left hand goes to the sky. Drop it down. Bring your knees hip-width distance apart, so bring those knees right back together. And we're going to find child's pose. Hips come down. I like to wiggle into this. So this is a little bit different than the child's pose that we were in earlier. I don't think we were in child's pose, but your knees are going to be hip-width distance apart here. Specifically, I want our knees here for a reason, but any other time, you can bring your knees whatever distance you want. Reach those fingertips forward. You're not going to be able to lower down as much here as you might have been able to do before, and that is a-okay. It's a totally different stretch. Reaching your fingertips forward, look at those fingers. Spread the fingers wide and press down into your thumb and pointer finger. And then the area where they attach to your palm. So I'm pressing down between my thumb and my pointer finger and the area that they attach to my palm. So this is where I'm putting the pressure in my hands, not here. So if you start to feel yourself come up, I don't know how well you can see that on the screen, but if you start to feel yourself come up, try to plant this part down first. That part where your pointer finger touches your palm into the mat. And then your forearms are off the floor. So reach those fingertips far enough so where you can pull the shoulders back, but the forearms are off the floor. We're engaged here. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up into our tabletop and then immediately flip the toes and pike the hips. Downward facing dog. Pike just means lift. So I want you to uber bend your knees, like bend your knees a lot. Lift your hips higher and press your chest close to your thighs. Breathing here. I know, downward facing dog is so rough. You can walk the dog here if you'd like to, bending one knee and bending the other. And I know a lot of yoga teachers say, downward facing dog is a resting pose. You should enjoy yourself here. But it's true. In the beginning, when we first start doing yoga, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm literally going to die if you hold me here for any longer, right? But as you get stronger, as you start to connect to your practice a little bit more, you're like, I'm not going to die yet. I can hold this a little bit longer. And then maybe you start to even get a little bit comfortable in this pose. When you're ready, let's bend the knees, come up on the tippy toes, look in between the hands, and step to the front of the mat. Little steps, baby steps, all the way there. When you get there, stay down. Grab opposite elbows, let your head hang. Breathing here. Maybe you sway. Maybe you stay still. You're looking in between your knees. Release those fingertips all the way down to the floor. One vertebrae at a time. Roll yourself all the way up to stand. Woo. When you get to the top, roll the shoulders back and exhale. So if you ever feel stressed, all you have to do is just roll yourself up to stand. Roll the shoulders back. Feels so good. Okay, we're at the front of our mat. A little bit of a hot tip. The front of your mat isn't necessarily standing up to that edge. Nobody ever told me that when I started doing yoga. I had to learn that on my own. But if you're wondering why you're always moving up and down on your mat and why your hands are off your mat and then your feet are off your mat and you're always having to readjust, bring your feet back a little bit. So I'm about a footprint back on my mat. Okay, my feet are hip-width distance apart. My toes are spread wide. The outer edges of my feet are parallel to the outer edges of my mat. Hands by my side. Start to just lengthen yourself all the way down. So root your feet down into the ground. We've got 3 points. Our big toe, our baby toe, and our heel are all pressing into the mat, and then we're suction cupping from the sole of our foot up. So suction cupping through the ankles, through the shins. You're not locking out your knees, but you're engaging your thighs so that your knees will feel like they're lifting. Then your belly button is coming up, your ribs are pulling in, your shoulders are opening. The only thing dropping down is your shoulder blades pulling down and together down your back. Your neck is an extension of the rest of your spine, and you're leading through like somebody's pulling a string through the crown of your head. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. Let that head hang. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folds deeper. Inhale yourself to the sky. Hands up, look up. Palms face each other. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Hands by your sides. We're going to do it again. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way to the sky. Palms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. Look in between your knees here. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, folds deeper again. Look between those knees again. Inhale, reach the hands back to the sky. Hands up, look up. Exhale, hands come to prayer. One more time because it's fun. Inhale, reach the hands back to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Let that head hang. Inhale, reach yourself all the way back to the sky. Hands up, look up. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Hands by your sides. We're going to add on here. Inhale, reach the hands all the way to the sky. Look through the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Bend the knees, plant the hands, 1 foot at a time. Step back into your plank. Woohoo, we are strong. We can hold plank. Hey, drop your knees down. Okay, now look at the screen. Untuck your toes. Look at the screen. Are you in a tabletop? If so, shift your hips down. Now, look at the screen again. Do you have a long line of energy from your knees to your hip to your shoulders, or are you sinking your hips down? I want you to be strong through the belly, but not lift up. When you're ready, I want you to stay where you're at. You're like, oh, she's getting out. I can get out. I want you to take your elbow creases, the crease of your elbow, and I want you to wrap your elbow creases forward so that when you bend, your elbows bend to the back. So when you're ready, bend to the ground. Woohoo! Okay, tops of the feet are on the mat. Big toe, baby toe onto the mat. Press your foot into the mat so much that the knee actually comes off the floor. When you're ready, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra. Lead with the chest. Squeeze those elbows together. Maybe your hands come off the floor. Woo-hoo-hoo. When you're ready, plant the hands, press back into child's pose. Press up and back, child's pose. Beautiful. Breathing here, let that head hang. When you're ready, set those hands up, right? So spread the fingers wide. I like my pointer fingers facing forward. That gives me a little bit more space. Come back into the tabletop, set the hands, flip the toes, pike the hips. Remember, pike just means to lift. We're pressing our chest closer to our thighs. Our shoulders are away from our ears, and we can shake our head, not violently, but nicely. When you're ready, bend the knees deeper. Come up onto the tippy toes. Look in between your hands and step to the front of the mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. When you get there, inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Let the head hang. Inhale yourself back to the sky. Hands up, look up. Palms face each other. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Hands by your sides. We're going to do that one more time. It's really fun. Inhale, reach the hands back to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. You don't have to touch. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Bend the knees. Plant the hands 1 foot at a time. Step back into your plank. Hold your plank here. You're strong. You can hold it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, drop your knees. Untuck your toes. Set your hands. Fingers are spread wide. And then check it out. Are my hips lifted? Are they dropping? Or are they in a line with the rest of my body? What are my elbow creases doing? Can I wrap them forward so that when I bend, they shoot to the back of the room? So when you're ready, exhale, lower down. Woo-hoo. Okay, remember, big toe, baby toe, top of the foot is planted onto the mat. Lift the knees off. So you're pressing the foot down so that the knees lift. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra, or this is your option to press into a full cobra. Your choice. Your elbows can also be bent here too. This time, this is your option. Press up and back to a child's pose or to a downward facing dog. Woohoo! Breathing here. Again, you can walk that dog if you want to, bending one knee and bending the other. Loving this. You can break whenever you need to. You can child's pose whenever you need to. When you're ready, if you're in a child's pose, come back into a downward facing dog. And then everybody, when we're ready, bend the knees, come up on the tippy toes, look in between your hands, and step to the front of the mat. Woo, take your time. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folds deeper. Inhale yourself to the sky. Hands up, look up, palms face each other. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Okay, let's come to the front of the mat. This is a great time to have those blocks. Now, if you have blocks at home, I want you to set your blocks up at the highest level. If you're using anything else, if you're not using blocks, if you're using anything else, it doesn't matter what you have. You have something, right? And so if you have something that has multiple levels, then bring it to the highest level as long as it's still going to be stable. So at the front of the mat, remember, front of the mat, hot tip, is not actually the entire front of the mat. It's just near the front. Your feet are hip-width distance apart. The outside edges of your feet are parallel to each other. Hands by your sides. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for your toes. We're going to use our blocks. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. This time, bend the knees, plant the hands, and step your right foot only back. This is where we have our blocks. Grab your block and set it up right next to your foot. Okay. I want you to think of railroad tracks and a tight wire. So on a railroad track, there's 2 tracks. There's one track on the left and there's one track on the right. I don't want your feet to be on a tightrope. So if you look down, you have railroad tracks. Left foot is to the left, right foot is to the right. Your blocks are right underneath your shoulders. And then if you need to, caterpillar that back foot back a little bit. Sink your hips down. I want you to get that stretch. So if your hips are up, sink them down. Breathing here. You're stretching the front side of your back thigh by being here. And then another thing, we're not hanging out here, right? We're pressing away from the ground. We're pulling the crown of our head long. So the soft part that you're not supposed to touch as a baby, that's pulling forward as your heel is pulling back. Breathing here. Woo. Take a big inhale in, and then exhale, step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Whoa. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, shoulders pull away from the ears. Exhale, folds deeper, bend the knees, plant the hands, left foot steps back. Grab those blocks. Okay, so first things first, because the floor is so far away that before you even try to set anything up, make yourself comfortable. Grab the blocks, set them up to whatever height. I set them up to the highest height because that's where I like my blocks to be. So next, what are my feet doing? Do I have railroad tracks? So sink the hip down. Step the right foot out to the side, maybe if you need to. Front knee is always right over that front ankle for support and stability. You're pressing away from the blocks. You're pulling the back thigh to the sky. And then the crown of your head is pulling forward. So you're pulling your chest and the crown of your head. You're lengthening here. Breathing, loving this. It's hard, but you are strong. Your legs are working, but that's okay. They are strong. Inhale, take an inhale. Take a lengthen. Exhale, step to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Move those blocks out of the way. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Hands up, look up. Palms face each other. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Reach the hands by your sides. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folds deeper. Bend the knees, plant the hands. Right foot only steps back again. Grab those blocks. This time, whatever height they want to be at. So I took mine down to the middle level. Again, if you have books at home and they're just that height, hey, they are just that height. That's totally fine. Front knee right over the front ankle. Am I on train tracks? Can I sink my hips down? Can I pull my back thigh to the sky? Can I pull my chest forward and pull the crown of my head forward? Next step, we're moving on. We're adding one more thing. What's happening to my fingers? Woohoo! Can they get lighter on my blocks? And can they come behind me? Oh my goodness, my legs are working so much. Do you need to stay here? Is that where you stay? Or can you lift yourself up? Whew, I led with my chest. What happens if my hands come to the sky? Oh my goodness, breathing. Your hips, if they have laser beams on them, they're facing forward. Your hands can either be in the sky, in prayer, or at your hips. Breathing here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands come all the way back down to that block again. This time, step back into your plank. Drop your knees. Move your blocks out of the way because it's really hard with your blocks. Set yourself up. What's happening to my hips? What's happening to my knees? What's happening to my elbow creases? Are they facing forward? Chaturanga all the way down. Big toe, baby toe, plant into the mat. Engage so that the knees lift off. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra, your choice. And then when you're ready, flip the toes, downward facing dog, up and back. Woohoo! Feels really good. If you feel like you're in a plank, go ahead and just walk your feet forward just about an inch or so. When you're ready, bend the knees, come up on the tippy toes, look in between your hands, and step to the front of the mat. Whew. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folds deeper. Only one more side, I promise. Inhale, hands back to the sky. Hands up, look up. We're going to hang out here. Exhale, cactus. Open the chest, palms face forward. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, cactus. One more time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, cactus. Press the chest forward. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Other side. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folds deeper. Bend the knees, plant the hands, left foot steps back, find those blocks. Maybe you're like, psh, Bree, I don't need blocks. Then that's fine. You don't need blocks. You don't need to use them. They're there so that you can use them. Okay, setting myself up, however I feel. Oh yeah, I'm at the lower level here. Front knee right over that front ankle. Back thigh pulling to the sky. What's happening to my feet? Are they in their railroads? If you feel like you do not have balance in a high lunge pose, check your feet because you're probably on a tightrope. Okay, pulling the crown of my head long. What's happening to my fingers? Can they come off the blocks and can they come back behind me? Woohoo, I'm long, I am strong. Oh my goodness. Let's lift with the chest. High lunge, hands come to the sky. Your hands can also come into prayer, or they can come out to your hips. If they're long, you're long through those fingers. I don't want to ever see this. This is never what I want to see. I want to see long, 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 engaged. Everything we do has intention. Stay here, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Step back into the plank. Drop your knees. Reset yourself, move those blocks aside. What's happening to the hips? They like to hang out here because this is easy. Drop them down. Elbow creases forward, chaturanga bend. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. A little bit or a lot of it, your choice. Downward facing dog, up and back. Bend the knees, come up on the tippy toes, look in between your hands, and step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Inhale yourself to the sky, hands up, look up, palms face each other. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Release your hands by your sides. Great time for water, great time for towel, great time to pause and eat a snack. If you want to, that's the beauty of doing this at home. Okay. We're going to do tree pose. This is also a great time to reset and come to a wall. If you're on a sticky mat or if you're on carpet, you might have problems balancing because the sticky mat, even though it's really cushiony and it's really awesome, it gives us some balance issues. So if you want to go into your kitchen or into your bathroom for this part, if you're watching this on your phone or something portable, it's going to be a lot easier to do it on something hard. If you're on something hard and you want to challenge yourself, go on something sticky, right? Go on something like a big sticky mat or carpet, probably not your bed or your couch. Please do not do that, or on like a big workout ball. Okay, you're going to plant one foot into the mat. Because the camera does weird things, we're just going to do our own legs today. So you're going to pick a standing leg. This is my standing leg. I want you to spread your toes wide, plant your big toe, your baby toe, and the heel into the mat. Hands come to your hips, stand up tall. Your flying leg, that's going to be the one that kind of makes some circles. Kind of rolls around. If it pops on the floor, hey, that's what that's there for. Because we don't want to jump into tree pose and then realize that we shouldn't be balancing today, right? So you're just checking in. Am I balancing? Do I need a wall? Am I okay in the center of the room? You might be like, psh, Bree, I don't need a wall. That's okay. Okay, can you come into a kickstand? So toes on the floor, heel on your ankle. Hold here. Your hips have laser beams, so you want your laser beams facing forward while your hip is opening. Open. What happens when we open this knee? Our laser beams kind of go over there. So try to keep your hips straight while also feeling a stretch here. Maybe this is where you hang out. Maybe this is where you stay. That's okay. Maybe you can come into that calf. Now I'm really balancing. So same thing. What's happening to my hip bones? What's happening to my thigh? Open it. Staying here, or maybe you come all the way up. The only place I do not want you to be, and there's not me or your teacher there to check you on this, please do not put your foot on your knee. Your knee is not supposed to have any pressure. And so if you come up and your foot doesn't want to stay there and your foot hangs out here, that is a no-go, no area whatsoever because you will hurt yourself. So if you can't come up here, that's a-okay. Just come down there. That's totally fine. We've been balancing for a really long time. Let's go ahead and bring our hands into prayer. Breathing. It's supposed to get a little bit more challenging every single step we take. And so if you fall out of this, just come right back in. That's totally fine. Raise your arms to the sky, grow like a tree. So we're rooting down our feet. We're rooting our roots down, and then we're lengthening higher. So grow like a tree. And then I'm looking outside, and where I am today, it's pretty windy. So we sway those branches in the wind. Your neighbors are looking at you through their window, and they're like, that person is crazy. Okay, when you're ready, look over to your left. Woo, don't let your arms mess you up. Come back through center and look over to the right. Come back through center and then look to the sky. Don't let your fingers mess you up. Woo. And if you fall out, just come right back in, yeah? Look down at your toes. High toes. Can you wiggle your toes at you? Are you white knuckling your toes onto the floor? When you wiggle your toes, did your hands just stop moving? It's a balance thing. Close your eyes. Impossible challenge. Can you stay balanced on one foot with your eyes closed? And then go ahead and release everything out. Whew. Shake it out. Take it out. We have our other side. When you're ready, spread your other toes wide. So a big thing here. We have our big body. Our whole body is being held up by a small little tiny base. Whenever you see like a light pole or anything, you see this really big long light pole, but at the bottom of it, it's got a big base at the bottom. So that's what you're thinking about. You want to make your base a big base. So spread your toes as wide as you possibly can. Root down into that. Big toe, baby toe, and heel. Hand comes on the hips. Start to sway. Breathing. Again, this is just here to make sure that we're not losing our balance, that we're not crazy people for thinking that we can come into a balance pose today. We're checking on it. Okay, when you're ready, come into that kickstand. Toes on the floor, heels on the ankle, or like a little bit above the ankle. Where are my laser beams pointing? My laser beams are pointing forward while I'm trying to open up my thigh. So just because my knee is pointing that way doesn't mean all of a sudden my hips point that way. My hips are pointing forward while my thigh is opening. Okay, can you move up? Calf. Can you move higher into that inside upper thigh? Again, remember, the knee, no-go zone. So if you land on your knee, no. Be accountable to yourself in your living room. Hands come to prayer at heart and center. And the reason why you're being accountable to yourself in your living room is so that you don't break your knee. Maybe you grow like a tree. Remember, we're rooting down, we're creating that big, strong base so that we can rise up really tall. Sway those branches in the wind. Where I'm at, where I'm filming, it is still pretty windy outside. But that doesn't mean I fall over. I'm like one of those big palm trees in front of Placentia. It doesn't matter how fast the wind blows, that palm tree does not knock over. You are strong, and you are limber. Okay, look over to your right. Come back to center. And then look over to the left. Woohoo! Up to the sky. Look at those fingertips. Back to center. Look at those toes. Hi, toes. Thank you for holding me. Impossible challenge. Can you close your eyes? Can you stay balanced with your eyes closed? Okay, when you're ready, shake everything out. Whew. Okay, oh my goodness. Let's come to the front of the mat. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Hands by your sides. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down, reach for those toes. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Bend the knees, plant the hands. We're gonna come into a ball squat. So come onto the balls of your feet. If you have a back injury, you're going to skip this pose. You're just gonna come right and sit on your back. If you wanna challenge yourself a little bit, let's hang out here. So we're on our heels. Can we lower our knees down? Whew. Can we open the chest? Can your fingers, if they haven't done so already, come off the floor? Can you close your eyes? Oh my gosh, hello, ankle stability. If I didn't have it before, now I have it now. Okay, when you're ready, round the back, bring your hands back to the ground. Bring your hands in front of you like you're holding a ball, and then we're gonna plop onto our butt. Remember, if we have a back injury, we're not coming into that. And look what we came into, boat pose. Drop your feet down. We're not coming into full boat today. So your legs are not straight, but they're not fully bent either. One hand comes to your chest, one hand comes to your low back. Lower down until your core tells you to stop. Your core will tell you. It'll be like, oh, stop, don't keep going. Hands come out by your sides, hang out here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not done. Left foot lifts. 5, 4. If I'm shaking, you're shaking. 3, 2, 1. Switch. Right leg lifts. 5, 4. I meant to say, if you're shaking, I'm shaking. 3, 2, 1. Not done. Both legs lift. Oh my gosh, we can do it. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Straighten those legs out. Inhale, reach the hands all the way to the sky. And then exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reach for those toes. Toes, ankles, shins, knees, whatever you need to reach today, grab for that. You're going to take your hands wherever they're at, and you're going to open them and wrap underneath so that your chest can stay open. Because what happens, here's the difference. If my hands are underneath my calves, even though I'm not completely folded over, I'm still promoting this chest folding, right? But if I'm reaching for my toes, I'm not promoting chest at all. I'm just promoting rounding back, which is a really good way to hurt yourself. And so if you open your hands, then you're promoting chest forward. Okay, when you're ready, come back up into a seat. We're gonna come onto our bellies. So there's a little bit of a transition we're gonna have to make, but we're gonna come all the way onto our belly. We're gonna do alligator pose. Your right hand is gonna come out to your side like a T. You're gonna use your left hand to roll onto your right side. So you're gonna use your muscles, press yourself all the way off. Let that head come down onto the floor. Your left leg, remember, because you pressed yourself, your left leg is gonna come up and back. Now, you can hang out here, or you can take your left hand, you can lift it to the sky, you can bring it to your hip, or you can come back around and try to grab your fingertips together. 10 times out of 10, I don't ever reach my fingertips, but I always try, right? And then I just will come back right here. You're not trying to pop any shoulder blades out of their sockets today. You're just trying to stretch your body. Breathing here. When you're ready, release that hand and come all the way back. We're gonna go to the other side. So your left hand is gonna come out to your side like a T. You're gonna use your muscles in your right arm to roll yourself off onto your left side. Remember, that right side, that right leg, it's gonna pop up and back behind you. Right hand can stay where it's at, or it can come to your hip. Or it can come all the way up to the sky and wrap around, finding your fingertips. Do not pop your shoulder out of your socket. Please. Breathing here. When you're ready, come all the way back to center. Press yourself into a child's pose, up and back. This time, I want you to bring your knees together, your hips come down to your heels, and your fingertips reach behind you. Breathing here, loving this pose. When you're ready, press yourself up. We're going to come right back down onto our back. All the way onto our back. Hug our knees into our chest. Rocking side to side, rocking back and forth, left and right. When you're ready, bring your arms out by your sides like a T. We're going to lower our knees down to the left and look over to the right. I'm more interested in your shoulder being glued to the floor, being glued to the mat, than I am with your knees being on the floor. And so if you need to grab those books and put those books or those blocks underneath your knees so that your shoulder can stay on the floor comfortable, that I'm totally 100% okay with that. Your knees do not have to touch the floor. But if you look over those opposite fingers, it'll promote that shoulder coming down to the floor. When you're ready, bring those knees all the way back to center, and then lower them down to the opposite side. Remember, if your shoulder's kind of doing this thing right here, you want your shoulder to be planted onto the mat. And if your shoulder doesn't do what my shoulder just did, let your knees come back to center, and that's where your knees stop. What you can do is take your knees away from you so that they come down. You're still stretching here. Breathing. When you're ready, come all the way back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a really, really, really big hug. If you want to, you can come into Happy Baby, grabbing the soles of the feet, bringing your knees into your armpits and your heels to the sky. Now, if all of a sudden you grabbed your feet and you can't breathe, that's okay. Grab the ankles, grab the backs of the knees, or come into hugging the knees back into the chest again. You are supposed to be able to breathe in every single posture you're in yoga. You're never supposed to not be able to breathe. Now, when you're here, you can rock side to side, whatever you're in. Just be careful, because if you rock all the way to one side, you might have to hang out there until somebody comes and finds you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to rock yourself back to center. Okay, breathing here. When you're ready, release those feet, if you haven't done so already, and hug those knees back into your chest. Again, last time, give yourself the biggest hug you're gonna give yourself today. You deserve it. You rolled out your mat and you did yoga and you survived. You did such a good job. When you're ready, release yourself all the way down. Final resting pose, or Shavasana. Arms by your sides, palms facing up. You can take as long as you need. You can pause this video if you'd like to. You can do whatever stretches your body needed today. You can pause, and you can do as many of those as you want to. If you're ready for Shavasana, if you're ready for your final resting pose, you can release yourself down into the mat. Your arms are by your sides, your legs are by your sides, taking the natural opening that they like to take. And you are breathing. Every single part of your body that is touching the floor is heavy. Every single part of your body that is not is light. You are free, and you are released. Breathing here, but you're not really paying attention to your breath, but you're not holding it either. All those thoughts, they're going to want to come back now, because now your body's not moving, so now your mind can start to move again. All those lists, all those things that are going to make you want to get up and release your Shavasana, stay here. You deserve it. Everything can wait. Breathing here. If you've locked yourself in a room just for a little bit of peace and quiet and there's knocking on the door, it can wait. You are filling your cup up right now so that you can fill the cups of all those that you love around you. If you need to take longer, pause this video or just let it run through and take as long as you need to. When you are ready, start to find movement in your fingers and your toes. Start to roll your wrists and your ankles. Lift your arms up and over your head, lengthening yourself, stretching your arms long. And then when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest and roll yourself off onto your favorite side. Whatever side you want. I prefer the right side, but whatever side you want. When you get there, keep your eyes closed and use your arm as a pillow. And then when you are ready, press yourself into a comfortable seat. Whatever a comfortable seat means to you, just like the way we started class today. You can have your hands on your knees, palms facing down or up, or you can bring your hands into prayer at heart and center in Anjali Mudra with the thumbs pressed against the chest. Yogi, I see the light in you and I honor you. And my only hope is that you also see the light in me and honor me back. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. You can definitely continue that, and you can do that every single day. So if that class was really hard for you, you can keep doing that. And you can keep using your blocks. My first pair of blocks I ever got were from Walmart, and they were super cheap, and they were foam. So you don't have to have the fancy blocks that we have. My first yoga mat that I ever got was $8 from Walmart, and it was like paper thin. So you don't have to have all that fancy stuff to start doing a yoga practice. If you were on the high level of the blocks, maybe take this class again and see like, hey, can I get down to the low level of my blocks? Can I get down to the lowest level of my blocks? Is there a way that I could not use blocks? Like that's what we're working for. If you take my vinyasa classes are very similar to the same exact class that I taught right now. It just moves faster and there's just more challenging stuff in there. But if this was really easy for you, then go ahead and move on. Go ahead and move, or if whenever it gets really easy and you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, there's plenty of more videos that are more challenging. Okay, I love you and thank you for rolling out your mat and doing something for yourself. I will see you next time.